ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। 88 the class. You can repeat. वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम्
वासुदेवेन्द्रयोगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानप्रदं गुरुम्
मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते।
मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधोऽभिधीयते।
एतेषां पञ्चतत्त्वानां तामसांशात् पञ्चीकृत पञ्चतत्त्वानि भवन्ति। पञ्चीकरणं कथम् इति चेत् एतेषां पञ्चमहाभूतानां तामसांशस्वरूपम् एकं एकं भूतं द्विधा विभज्य एकं एकं अर्धं पृथक् तूष्णीं व्यवस्थाप्य परम् अपरम् अर्धं चतुर्धा विभज्य स्वार्धभिन्नेषु अर्धेषु
स्वार्थभिन्नेषु अर्थेषु
स्वभागचतुष्टय संयोजनं कार्यम्
स्वभागचतुष्टयसंयोजनं कार्यम्
तथा पञ्चीकरणं भवति।
तथा पञ्चीकरणं भवति।
एतेभ्यः पञ्चीकृत पञ्चमहाभूतेभ्यः
पञ्चीकृतपञ्चमहाभूतेभ्यः
स्थूलशरीरं भवति।
स्थूलशरीरं भवति।
Now we will see the meaning of these lines. Sukshma bhutat sukshma srishti. Sukshma srishti. Stula bhutat stula srishti. Bhautika srishti. After sukshma srishti, now we are entering into the topic of stula srishti. This is what is called creation, srishti, or we can use the word projection. From the Sattvika Amsha of Panchamahabhuta, Pancha Jnanendriyani, from the individual Sattvika aspect, Pancha Jnanendriyani, from the collective Sattvika aspect, Antakaranam. Antakaranam Sambhavati. From the individual Rajas aspect of the Pancha Mahabhuta, Pancha Karmendriyani Sambhutani. 5 sense organs of action or born. Vagendriyam, Panendriyam, Padendriyam, Gudendriyam, Pastendriyam, iti. From the collective Rajas aspect of Panchamahabhuta, Prana. Prana stands for energy, action, activity, that is born. So up to that it is Sukshma Srishti. Now what Amsha is left out is Rajas. So Tamas. What is left out is Tamas. Now this Tamas aspect of Panchamahabhuta, of the subtle elements, Panchamahabhuta, now they will be used, or they will undergo the process called grossification, Panchikaranam. They, from them are created 5 gross Pancha Mahabhuta, 5 gross elements. It is gross element, Bhautika. So from the Tamasamsha, Tamasika aspect, Etesham Panchatatvana, from the 5 elements. So from the Tamas aspect of these 5 elements, Panchikrita Panchatatvani, 5 Panchikrita is grossified. 5 grossified Panchatatvani Sambhutani. Panchatatvas are formed, created. Panchikrita means, Krita means done. Panchikrita means it is done 5-fold. Panchikrita means it is done 5-fold. Panchikrita means 5-fold. So from the Tamas aspect of the Pancha Mahabhuta, the 5 gross elements are made. This process of making the Bhautika. The Stula element is called Panchikaranam. The 5 elements, the 5 gross elements which are born, how they are born? They are born from the Sukshma Bhuta. In the beginning, it is Akasha, is Shuddha Akasha. Akasha contains only Akasha element. It has got 3 aspects: Sattvika Akasha, Rajasika Akasha, Tamasika Akasha. There are no other elements in the Akasha, pure Akasha, because it is Sukshma, subtle. Similarly, Vayu also. Vayu contains only Vayu. At Sukshma level, Vayu contains only Vayu. It has got 3 aspects: Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika. Sattvika Vayu, Rajasika Vayu, Tamasika Vayu. Similarly, Agni also contains only Agni element, Sukshma element. Apa also, only Apa alone, water element alone is present. Tattvabodha Prithvivyam api. Even in the case of Prithvi, it is also like that. Prithvi is, that is the Sukshma Bhuta, Sukshma Prithvi contains only Prithvi. All these 5 elements individually may have the 3 aspects: Sattvika, Rajasika, Tamasika. At the subtle level. At a subtle level, it has not undergone this process of grossification. That is why they are called Tanmatra. Tanmatra is Tadeva, that alone remains, nothing else. That element alone is present in that, no other element. Akasha is a Tanmatra. It means it is only Akasha. So the element in the unmixed form, the element in its pure form, that is called Tanmatra. So another name for Pancha Mahabhutani, that is 5 elements at a certain level, they are called Tanmatra. And from the Tanmatra only, from the Sattvika aspect of the Tanmatra, Rajas aspect of the Tanmatra only, the Jnanendriya and Karmendriya, they are born. Now, Tamas aspect is left out. Now, the Tamas aspect of the Tanmatra, the pure element, the elements which contain only that particular element only. Now, what happens? The Tamas aspect of that each element is going to combine with the other 4 elements. Is going to combine with the Tamas aspect of the other 4 elements, because only Tamas is left out in all the elements now. The creation has used Sattvika aspect and Rajas aspect. Tamas aspect only is left out in the Panchamaha Tattvani Tanmatra. So therefore, the Tamas aspect of each element will combine with the Tamas aspect of the other 4 elements. And after that, it will be made 5 divisions, 5-fold. After combination, it will be divided into 5. And after that, after dividing into 5 parts, now it will combine with the other 4 elements. So therefore, the resultant element will have all the 5 elements. Its own element plus its own Tamas aspect plus the Tamas aspect of the other elements. So therefore, it is a mixture now. So Panchikaranam is nothing but it's going to, it's a called mixture, mixing going to take place. Something like a avial. You mix all the vegetables and prepare something like that. So each element will be divided into 5, each element each element will be fivefold. Each element will be divided into 5 and it will combine with the other 4, retaining its one half. The other 4 half will be combined with the other elements. So this process is called Panchikaranam. By this process, what happens is that which is Sukshma will become Stula. Because there is a combination, there is a mixture. When there is a combination between two different things, the resultant, what is going to be formed, the resultant will have totally a different nature. It changes its quality. So therefore, the 5 elements are going to combine in a particular way, particular formation. Because of that, the resultant element will become gross. So subtle elements combining with each other becoming gross. That is why this, and 5 elements are there, that is why it's called Panchikaranam. Panchikaranam. Quintuplication, we say in English, that is called grossification. That is 5 are there, therefore quintuplication. Fivefold. The fivefold is called grossification. Becoming fivefold, becoming 5, combining with other 4, they become gross. So therefore, Etesham Panchatattvanam Tamasamshat Panchikata Panchatatvani Bhavanti. From the tamas aspect of the Panchatattva, that is Tanmatra, the fivefold Panchikata Panchatatvani, Panchikata Panchatatvani Bhavanti. Panchikata Panchatattva are going to be born. Now, the author has used the word Panchikrita. The student doesn't know. Therefore, the Shishya asks the question, what is Panchikritam? Panchikaranam katam iti chet. Last class I explained what is Panchikaranam. Now we will see the meaning of the lines. 5 grossified elements are born by the process of grossification. Panchikritam. The word Panchikritam is used by the Guru. Now Shishya doesn't know. Therefore, Shishya asks, Panchikaranam katam iti chet. What is Panchikaranam? If we ask what is Panchikaranam, then the answer is, the question also is there, answer also is there. So assuming the Shishya asks the question, the Acharya answers. Panchikaranam iti chet. That Panchikaranam has got 4, you can take it as 4 stages. The initial stage, it has got tamas aspect. Tamas aspect alone is left out. Tamas aspect of the 5 elements are left out. So now the tamas aspect is now available for Panchikaranam. First stage, tamas aspect is available. The second stage, what happens that each element having the tamas aspect of the each element is divided into 2 parts, 2 equal parts, 50%, 50-50. And in the third stage, what happens? One part will remain. One part will remain. And the second part will be further divided into 4 parts. Will be further divided into 4 parts. The first stage, only tamas aspect remains. And the second stage, each element is divided into 2 parts, 2 equal parts. Like Stula, the Akasha is there. It has not yet become Stula Akasha. It is going to become. Now it is only Sukshma Akasha. Akasha gets divided into 2 parts, 2 equal parts. Similarly, Vayu, it is only Sukshma Vayu. Tamas aspect of the Sukshma Vayu gets divided into two parts. The same way, Agni divided into two parts. Water, tamas aspect of the water element gets divided into two parts, and Prithvi also gets divided into two parts. This is the second stage. Now, each element will retain one part. 50% of that it will retain. Another 50%, what happens? It is divided into four parts. That is the third stage. What happens? One part will remain. That is 50% of it will remain. Another 50% is, that is why 50% is shown. Another 50%, that is the second half of that, will be divided into four parts. Will be divided into four parts. So Akasha will retain its 50%, and another 50%, another half is that will be divided into four parts. So when it is divided into four parts, it will be 12.5%, 12.5%. We are just dividing the Akasha into four because this is going to be given to the other four elements, the next stage. So 12.5% is, it means 1/8. So 1/8. Half is there, and 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. That is half. So half already it is retaining, and this is another half. That when the other half is divided into four, each would be 1/8. It will be 1/8. Now 1/8 is that similarly for the Vayu, Agni, Apaha, and Prithvi, divided into four equal parts. 1/8, 1/8. Now in the next stage, what is going to happen is this 1/8 of each element will be given, will be shared with the other element. That is the next stage, fourth stage. That is the fourth stage. 1/8 of the Akasha, what will happen? 1/8 of the Akasha will join with the half of that half of the Vayu. Similarly, 1/8 of the Akasha will join with Agni. 1/8 of the Akasha will join with Apa. 1/8 of Akasha will join with Prithvi. It is joined means it contributes to the other element. Similarly, other element also does. When it does, Vayu will give its 1/8 to Akasha. Vayu will give 1/8 to Agni. Vayu will give 1/8 to Apaha. Vayu will give 1/8 to Prithvi. Similarly, Agni also does. Agni, which has been divided into two halves, and they are one keeping one half, other half divided into four, it contributes the remaining four into the other four elements. Therefore, Akasha will get 1/8 of Agni, Vayu will get 1/8 of Agni, Apa will get 1/8 of Agni, Prithvi will get 1/8 of Agni. The same way for Apaha, Prithvi also. Therefore, finally what you have is Akasha will have its 50%, half of its element. Tamas aspect 50% will be there. Then it will have 1/8 of the tamas aspect of Vayu. Then it will have 1/8 of the tamas aspect of Agni, and 1/8 of the tamas aspect of water, and 1/8 of the tamas aspect of Prithvi. So Akasha will have not only Akasha element, it will have the tamas aspect of other elements also. Therefore, it is like an alloy. Alloy, the metal, two metals are combined to become a new metal, like in brass, tin, etc. Though they are metals where two or more metals are combined. Brass is not a pure metal. It has got copper, zinc, and nickel. Similarly, this is just now it has become like an alloy. It has got the other elements, tamas aspect of the other elements. So this is that stage. Therefore, Akasha will have Akasha plus 50% Akasha plus 12.5% of the other elements. Now, the same thing for the other elements also. Vayu also like that. Agni also will have its 50% and it will have 1/8 of the other elements. Apa also similarly. Prithvi also similarly will have its 50% of its own element, own 50 elements, its a part, its own part, and 50, and 1/8 of the other elements. So this process is called Panchikaranam. The resultant of Panchikaranam is that it has got the tamas aspect of the other elements. So now by this process, what happens? It becomes stula, becomes gross. Only when it becomes gross, it is available for our perception. It only will become gross, and only we can perceive it. So what we perceive is stula akasha. That stula akasha has got not only akasha, it has got the other 4 elements. The vayu, it is not only vayu, the stula vayu, it has what we perceive the vayu, that vayu has got other elements also, other 4 elements. Similarly, water. When you drink water, water doesn't have only water. Water has got Agni also is there, Prithvi is there, Akasha is there, Vayu is there in water. Stula Vayu has got all the other 4 elements. You cannot drink Sukshma water. You cannot drink. So the water has got. So similarly, Agni. In the Agni, water is there. In the Stula Agni, water is there. Vayu is there. Akasha is there. Prithvi is there. Similarly for Prithvi also. So this process by which each element having other elements, part of other elements. It's called the Panchikaranam, by which it becomes gross. It becomes gross. This is what is said in the line. Now, let us read, let us explain the words now. Etesham Panchikaranam katam iti chet. Panchikaranam katam iti chet. Etesham bhutam. Etesham bhutam. This bhuta, the element. When we say bhuta here, etesham panchamahabhutanam. Etesham panchamahabhutanam. Panchamahabhutanam tamasa amsham swarupam. So the tamasa amsha, which is what is left out. So the tamas aspect of this 5 elements, subtle elements. Ekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya. Dvidha vibhajya. Baj. Sevaya vibhaj, to divide. Dvidha vibhajya means divided into 2 parts. Ekam bhutam. Every element, each one of them. Ekam bhutam is each one of them. Each one of them is what? The tamas aspect of each one of them. Panchamahabhutanam tamasamsha swarupam ekam ekam bhutam dvida vibhajya. The tamas aspect of the five subtle elements, each one of them divided into two parts. So ekam ekam bhutam dvida vibhajya. After that you can put comma. That is one part. That is the first stage. The second stage is ekam ekam ardham pratak tushnim vyavasthapya. Vyavasthapanam. Vyavasthapanam is keeping aside. Place it. Vyavasthapanam. Tushnim vyavasthapya means keep aside. That is what keep aside? Ekam ekam ardham. One half of each separately. Pratak. One half of each of them. It is pratak. It is separately. You keep it. So divide them into two parts. Keep the one part separately. Now what is left out? The other part is left out. So that is other part. Here, ekam ekam ardham pratak tushtim vyavasthapya. You can put one comma. That is complete. That's how you have to read. Ekam ekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya, comma. Ekam ekam ardham pratak tushtim vyavasthapya, comma. For our understanding, you can put vibhajya, vyavasthapya, all these are left pratyaya. Having divided each into two parts, ekam ekam bhutam dvidha vibhajya, ekam ekam ardham pratak tushtim vyavasthapya, having kept aside separately the one half, then apparam ardham chaturdha vibhajya. Apparam is the other. Apparam, the other half. Other half of each one of them. That is why apparam, it is 2 times repeated. Apparam ardham chaturdha vibhajya. Chaturdha is fourfold. Chaturdha vibhajya. Dividing the other half of each element into 4. After that, comma. Then swardha. Then swardham. Must be swardham. 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 It is swardham. Yes. Swardham binneshu ardeshu. Swabhaga chatushtaya samyojanam karyam. Swardham binneshu ardeshu. The other half. Swardham binneshu anyeshu. The other half which has been divided into 2. That the swardham binneshu ardeshu swabhaga chatushtaya samyojanam karyam. Swabhaga chatushtaya means its swabhaga, its own part. With the swabhaga chatushtayam, with the halves of the other elements, which are different from itself. So you have to combine swabhaga chatushtayam samyojanam, combining its own part with the other parts. Swabhaga chatushtayam is 4 parts. Combining the 4 parts, the 4 parts with the chatushtaya samyojanam, with the remaining 4, with the remaining 4 elements. Samyojanam karyam, that samyojanam, that mixing, samyojanam is mixing. That samyojanam is called panchikaranam. Swabhaga chatushtaya samyojanam karyam, combining the 1/4 of each half. Swabha, each one, each parts. Combining the 1/4 of each with the other 4. is called the karyam, the process is called panchikaranam. Tata panchikaranam bhavati. So after this grossification, now each element will have the other elements also. So therefore it is it's a stula now. So akasha is predominantly has got akasha element. Why? Because even though it has got other elements, why it is called akasha? Because it is predominantly it is akasha. Therefore we call by the word akasha. The word akasha we use for the gross akasha because predominantly akasha is there. That is why it is called akasha. So vayu we call as vayu, even though it has got other elements because vayu is predominant. 50% vayu is there. Similarly with agni, apa, and prithvi. So all these Stula Bhutas have the name Akasha Vayu, Apaha, Agnihi, Apaha, Prithvi because of the predominance of that particular Bhuta. Now these Bhutas are Stula, they are gross, and they are Jadam, they are inert. Now the physical body, Stula Shariram. The Stula Shariram is made from this gross element. So from the Panchastula Bhutani, this Stula Shariram, the Stula Prapancham is created because the Shariram is made from Stula, the Stula Bhuta, therefore it is called Stula Shariram. Stula Shariram occupies what space? Gross space, Akasha. Stula Shariram has got all the elements, all the 5 elements are there because it is made from the 5 gross elements. It has got Akasha, it occupies space also, Stula Shariram, and Vayu, it has got Vayu, oxygen, Prana Vayu is there, other Vayus are also present. Agni is there in the body, the Stula Shariram. Certain temperature has to be maintained, should not go down or very high. So it is there. Water is a 75% of the body, it contains only water. In fact, water only gives shape to the body. And all the other Prithvi, the materials like minerals, carbons, calcium, etc., vitamins, all the materials, tangible materials, everything is there. The muscle, the bone, everything is made of the Prithvi material only. Therefore, the body is made up of these 5 gross elements. What about the objects outside, the inert objects? They are also made of 5 elements only. That inert objects also, what you see, a stone, you see a stone, a huge stone, big stone, it is Prithvi. It has got all the 5 elements. It is gross, that is inert object. So all the objects of the Prapancha, they are made of these 5 elements only, and they are Stula because of this process, grossification process. Now, the Stula Shariram is also Jadam. The Stula Shariram is also Jadam, and these objects, the things, what you perceive in the world, that is also Jadam. Then what is the difference between this Jadam and the Tat Jadam? Both are Jadam only. Stula Shariram is also Jadam only unless Sukshma Shariram is not there. Stula Shariram is Jadam only. Sukshma Shariram is there, therefore the Stula is sentient, becomes conscious. Sukshma Shariram is also Jadam. Sukshma Shariram also Jadam. It is conscious because of Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira also Jadam only. It is Ajnanam, Avidya. That is also that because of consciousness. So all the way it is consciousness only, Chaitanya. Because of Chaitanya, Stula Shariram is sentient. When we say Sukshma Shariram, because of Sukshma Shariram, the Stula Shariram is sentient. It is not that Stula Shariram is, as Stula Shariram has got sentience. Stula Shariram doesn't have sentience. The sentiency of the Stula Shariram is because of Chaitanya. And Stula Shariram has to be there. Without Sukshma Shariram has to be there for Stula Shariram to be active. And therefore, every sentient Stula Shariram will have the sentient Sukshma Shariram. The sentiency is because of Chaitanya. That sentiency is not there in the Jada Vastu, Jada objects. It means the sentiency not there means that consciousness is there, but Sukshma Shariram not there. The sentiency to the Stula Shariram is there because of the Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram has got sentiency. That sentiency is responsible for sentiency of this Stula Shariram. The inert object doesn't have Sukshma Shariram. Therefore, only the inert objects not sentient. Inert object in the Sukshma Shariram only, the Antakarnam, the Manas, Buddhi, etc. is there. That is why a person who is alive can think, can act, he has got prana, etc. Whereas a Jadavastu doesn't have that Sukshma Shariram, doesn't have Sukshma Shariram. Therefore, there is no Buddhi, there is no Manas, there is no prana, it doesn't breathe. A stone doesn't breathe, but it has Chaitanyam, consciousness, because Chaitanyam, it is there everywhere. There is nothing which doesn't have Chaitanya. But for Chaitanyam to manifest, you need all this Upadhi, Karana Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, and Stula Shariram. So, that is the difference between the Stula Shariram and the Jada Vastu. Stula Shariram is also Jadam only, when Sukshma Shariram not there. A table is Jadam. Mobile phone is Jadam. The dress is Jadam, because they are all made of Stula Bodha, Stula Bhautika. Doesn't have Sukshma Shariram, therefore it is Jadam. Whereas this Stula Shariram is the Stula Shariram is also Jadam, but it is active, it is sentient, not because of its own. It has got the borrowed sentiency from the Sukshma Shariram. Because of Sukshma Shariram, the Stula Shariram is sentient. That Sukshma Shariram is absent in the Jada Vastu. So, being sentient, you active, you do action, you do vyapara with the Jada Vastu. And this Jada Vastu, any Jada Vastu, they can become an object of worship for us. You can invoke the Devata in the Jada Vastu and offer puja. You invoke Devata in the stone, and stone is given a form, and it is called a Murti. It is Jada only, and you invoke Bhagavan in the Jada Murti. You invoke, once you invoke, it is no more a Jada. It becomes an object of worship. That invocation, the invocation of Bhagavan in that stone is called Avahanam. That's why we say Avahayami. Asmin Aridra Bimbe Mahaganapatim Avahayami. Aridra Bimba, a small mound of turmeric powder. You make it, and in that you invoke Mahaganapati. Turmeric powder is, small mound of turmeric powder is Jadam. But in that, you visualize, you invoke Mahaganapati. Then it becomes then it becomes an object of worship. Ishvara is everywhere. He is there even in the turmeric powder. And you invoke a particular devata, Ganapati devata in that. Then it becomes an object of worship. So, therefore, in everything we invoke Bhagavan. Therefore, everything becomes an object of worship. In the water we invoke. In the water, what we take bath every day, we invoke by repeating. We invoke the names of. We invoke the other waters in the water, the bathing water, by repeating the names of the rivers. Gange cha Yamune chaiva, Godavari Saraswati, Narmade Sindhu Kaveri, Jale spin Sannidhim Kuru, Asmin Jale Sannidhim Kuru. You are taking water, you are taking bath with the water from a water tub. That water is from the tap water, from the tap, from the nearby pond, or from the tank water. Maybe. In that water, you invoke Ganga, you invoke Yamuna, Saraswati. All the Punya Nadis are invoked. In a small mug of water, all the river waters are invoked. Because the rivers are sacred. The rivers are sacred for us, and you invoke the sacred rivers in a small mug of water. With that, you take bath. Invoking and taking bath, it becomes an action of punya karma, punyam. Taking bath in the punya nadi gives you punyam, and invoking the rivers in the small mug of water also will give you the same palam punyam. So wherever you are, whichever the rivers are, whichever the river or the water is, you can invoke these sacred rivers. That is called upasana. So you can convert any water into holy water by this bhavana called upasana, because Bhagavan is everywhere. So when Bhagavan is everywhere, you can invoke Bhagavan in anything, whether it is a stone or whether it is a water. So that a stone becomes an object of worship when you invoke Bhagavan in it. So you are giving a sukshma sharira. You are giving a sukshma shariram to the murti. That is called prana pratishtha. That process is called prana pratishtha. The temple, during the consecration process, after installing the murti, it is just a stone, jadam. It is not worthy of worship now, because prana pratishtha not been done. Prana belongs to sukshma sharira. Prana not there now. It is just a stula object. Now, in the prana pratishtha process, the prana which belongs to sukshma sharira, that is invoked in that consecration ceremony. Chanting some mantra, they invoke every part of the body of the Bhagavan in that. Eyes, ears, in all the indriya, etc. Everything, every anga is visualized in the idol by chanting the mantra, by invoking the prana. Therefore, after that, it becomes an idol. An idol becomes a murti. It is no more an idol. Even the sculptor cannot touch the murti anymore. While sculpting, he can do anything with the murti. He can step on that, he can sit on that, he can do anything. But once you invoke Bhagavan in it by the consecration process called prana pratishtha, then only the priest alone can go near the idol. Nobody can go. Even the sculptor will stay at a distance and offer namaskara, because it has got prana. Prana Pratishta, it is done. It is given a Sukshma Sharira. So a Jada Vastu becomes a Jada, a Vastu, a stone, it becomes an object of worship. And in the process, the Kumbhavishekam process, the temple is newly constructed and the devatas are installed. After the initial process, at the final stage, they do a thing called Nayana Unmilanam. Nayana Unmilanam. Nayana Unmilanam is opening the eye of the Murti. Opening the eye of the Murti. It's a process. After doing that, they show the mirror. They show the mirror to the Murti. When the Murti is invoked in that, when the Bhagavan is invoked in the Murti, after this Nayana Unmilanam, Nayana Unmilanam is opening the eye. After that, when the Bhagavan is invoked in the Murti, to that Bhagavan, they show the mirror. The mirror will break. The mirror will develop a crack. That is a sign that Bhagavan has been installed in the Murti. Now it is no more an idol. It is Murti. When to use the word idol or a stone, when to use the word Murti, that is important. As a just a stone, a roadside stone, it is just a stone. The same stone, when it is kept in Garbhagriha, it is a Murti. Therefore, we don't use the word even idol. Idol is a wrong word. Murti. Murti is what we worship. Murti means form. Bhagavan with form. Like we have a form with this Stula Shariram, Bhagavan also has got a form. In a particular form we are given, male form, female form, or animal form, or mixture of both. That is called Murti. So it is not a statue, it is not an idol, it is a living being. That is why after that, it is once this is done, every day it is given the Murti. Bhagavan is given bath, is adorned with various ornaments, dress, and offer Naivedyam. Why do we offer Naivedyam? If it is a stone, why do you offer Naivedyam? We don't offer Naivedyam to any stone. There are so many roadside stones are there. Do we offer Naivedyam? No. Here to the Murti we offer because it's a living, it becomes a living thing for us. So that is all Bhavana. 3 times Naivedyam, and in the night it is, they make it sleep also. In the morning, it is Bhagavan is awakened by singing songs, etc. So therefore, the spirit behind the whole thing that we need to understand. So this is the way we look upon everything as Bhagavan, Ishvara. When you invoke Bhagavan in anything, it becomes an object of worship. Bhagavan is there everything. It becomes an object of worship once you invoke. Once you invoke it. Therefore, that invocation, that invocation, that is giving a Sukshma Sharira, Prana Pratishta. So therefore, the presence or absence of Sukshma Shariram is what makes the difference between a sentient being and an insentient being. The presence or absence of Sukshma Shariram. That's why I gave this example of consecration ceremony, where a Sukshma Shariram is given to the Murti. Therefore, it becomes a living thing for us. Really speaking, there is nothing called sentient, insentient. And insentient is all insentient thing also has got Chaitanya. Sentient beings also have got Chaitanya. The only difference is insentient do not have Sukshma Shariram, and sentient beings enjoys that Sukshma Shariram. That is the difference. Chaitanya being everywhere, it is manifest in the Shariram, which has got Sukshma Shariram, which do not manifest in that which do not have Sukshma Shariram. So the presence or absence makes the difference. So therefore, everything is Chaitanya, everything is Bhagavan only. So therefore, it is not the presence of consciousness or absence of consciousness. Consciousness is present everywhere. There is no place where consciousness is Chaitanyam or otherwise called Brahma or Bhagavan, same. It is present everywhere. It is the presence of Sukshma Shariram that alone accounts for sentiency or insentiency. So, then how do we account for the inert things, Jadavastu in the world, when everything is consciousness, Chaitanyam? We make this division of inert and conscious because of the five gross elements, because the five gross elements are born from the Tamo Amsha of Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, and Prithvi. So therefore, once this Panchikaranam, it is done, then the gross elements are available. From the gross element, the Stula Shariram and the Stula Prapancha, with all its possibilities, they come to existence. So now Panchikaranam done. And from the Etebhyaha Panchikrita Bhutebhyaha, from the five grossified elements, what is born? Stula Shariram Bhavati, Sambhavati. Stula Shariram, Sambhavati, Stula Shariram, that is gross body, is born. That is from these five great grossified elements, Stula Shariram is born. Stula Shariram is at the Veshti level. We can extend the same thing to Stula Prapancha also. When you look upon the Prapancha as a Purusha, as a being, like in Purusha Suktam. Purusha Suktam looks upon the whole Prapancha as a Purusha. And the Surya and the Chandra are the eyes. That it is describing the Virat Purusha. The Virat Purusha, the gross universe is born. Stula Prapancha is born. As it at the Veshti level, similarly at the Samashti level also. So Stula Shariram is born. Even though Sukshma Prapancha are not talked about, we can extend as from the five grossified elements, Stula Shariram is born. Similarly, from the grossified elements, this Stula Prapancha containing objects and things, they are born. They are all tamas aspect of the five elements, combination of the tamas aspect of the five elements. Now, after that, what happens? The next line we will read. Evam Pinda Brahmanda Yogo.
Evam Pinda Brahmanda Yogo.
Aikyam Sambhutam.
Aikyam Sambhutam.
Aikyam is oneness. Aikyam is oneness. Evam means thus. Thus, there is oneness. Oneness between what? Pinda, Brahmanda. Pinda is Vyashti, individual. Brahmanda is this Brahma under this Jagat, the collective. So, in terms of Upadanam, there is oneness between Pinda and Brahmanda. That is, the external physical world, this Prapancha, is nothing but made of this five elements. As our physical body made of five elements, similarly, the Prapancha is also made of five elements. The individual Stula Shariram is called Pinda. And the Samashti, the total collective Stula Shariram is called Anda or Brahmanda. The cosmos, the Prapancha, it is called Brahmanda. So, Pinda Brahmanda Yoga, between the Pinda and Brahmanda, individual and the collective, Stula Shariram, there is a identity, certain identity. Aikyam is there. What is there? They are made up of the same elements, same 5 elements alone. Therefore, since they are made up of the 5 elements, therefore there is a certain identity, Aikyam Asti. At the subtle level also it is same. At the subtle level also, that is the external subtle world. Sukshma Prapancha is also made of 5 elements. And our Sukshma Sharira, Vyashti Sukshma Sharira also is made of 5 elements. Similarly, at the gross level also. So, therefore, there is Aikyam, essential identity, oneness between the individual body and the total body. Total body is this Prapancha. So, this Aikyam is there all the way. Stula, Sukshma, and the Karana. So, at Karana, therefore, since they have got this Aikyam, the oneness, the identity, because they are made from the same 5 elements, that is the Upadana Karana. That is the Upadana Karanam, the material cause. This Upadana Karanam. This Upadana Karanam is what we call Maya. This Upadana Karanam is what we call Maya. Already we have seen. This Maya, when it is unmanifest, it is called Pralayam. When it is manifest, it is called Srishti. When the Maya Sagita Brahma, if it is the Avyakta condition, it means it is not manifest, then it means it is Pralayam. When it is Vyakta, when it becomes Vyakta, when it is manifest, that is called creation. So what we are talking about is creation. So therefore, therefore this Srishti, what we call as Srishti, is nothing but a manifestation. It is nothing but a manifestation, otherwise called projection. It is the manifestation of that which is there already. It is not something newly created. It is manifestation and unmanifestation. The manifestation is called creation. Now, you may ask, this gross prapancha goes to unmanifest stage. Unmanifest stage means it is resolved into Sukshma. It is resolved into Sukshma. So, this Stula comes to being and Stula goes back. What about the Sukshma? What about the Sukshma? Sukshma also like that. Now, the Stula comes to being, Stula goes back. I said it resolves back. So, this is a cycle. So, in that cycle, which is the beginning? You cannot ask that, because there is no beginning. Because it is a cycle, it is a process of manifestation and unmanifestation. Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, then again Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya, again Srishti, Sthiti, Pralaya. It's a cycle. At the gross level, it's a cycle. Therefore, at the gross level, because it is a cycle, you cannot ask when the Srishti began, you cannot ask. We are discussing about Srishti, therefore, this question may come, when did this Srishti, the creation started? Creation started. When did the creation started? It is there all the time. It is there. Time, when we say, if we use time, it means it is. If we can use the word time, it is there all the way. It is there. There is no time which is not there. It was in the unmanifest stage, like the vriksha was in the form of a seed. When did vriksha come to being? When the tree come to being? The tree is there, tree was there, and the tree will be there. Where? Tree was there in the form of seed. Now the seed has become a vriksha, and when it goes back, again it goes back to seed. By giving, goes back to seed means goes back to Prithvi, and Prithvi again will become seed. So Therefore, it is nothing but manifestation and unmanifestation. So when that is so, when did it begin? That question itself doesn't arise. Therefore, it is anadi. It is beginningless. That is why we use the word manifestation instead of the word creation. If you use the word creation, we may think that something new comes out from a thing. Not there before, is something new has come. It is creation is not like that. Nothing new comes up. Everything already there, the sukshma level. That comes to manifestation. That manifestation is what is called the creation. Now, from the Pancha Mahabhuta, at the Sukshma level, we saw the Srishti. Then at the Stula level, we saw Srishti. During Pradaya, what happens? The same process gets reversed. From the everything is that as it has happened, so it is resolved. The Stula Prapancha will resolve into Sukshma Prapancha. Sukshma Prapancha will resolve into Karana Prapancha. When we say Prapancha, it includes Shariram also. Therefore, Stula Shariram will resolve into Sukshma Shariram. Sukshma Shariram will resolve into Karana Shariram. And the Karanam being there in the next cycle, the next Kalpa, or in the next Janma, again it manifests. The next cycle, in the next Kalpa, it manifests. When it goes to Karana Shariram, next Kalpa. The next Janma, the next Janma, only at the level of Sukshma Sharira. So, a being is born and dies and takes another Shariram because Sukshma Shariram is there. Sukshma resolution of the Sukshma Shariram will happen only when the Pralaya happens. At the Pralaya, at the time of dissolution, the Sukshma Shariram of the bodies, of all the jivas, the bodies, they resolve into Karanam. Karanam will be there. That Karanam will be the Karanam for the next cycle, next Srishti. That is called manifestation, comes to being. The same process. From the Karana Prapancha to the Stula Karya, Sukshma Karya Prapancha. From the Sukshma Karya Prapancha, this Stula Karya Prapancha. So that is how this manifestation and unmanifestation as a cycle, it happens beginninglessly. It is anadi. It is anadi. So, therefore, the study of the individual is a study of the total, because there is the identity, there is an aikyam. The study of the total is a study of the individual. Therefore, what is there in the pinda, it is there in the Brahmanda. What is there in the pinda, the individual, the same thing at the total. So, as the Shariram comes and Shariram goes, similarly, the Brahmanda also comes and goes, manifest and unmanifest. That is what is called Srishti. So, at the Sukshma level, it is same. At the Stula level also, it is same. Now we are dealing only with the Upadhi. So far, we have been dealing only with the Upadhi. The next topic is going to be the important topic. That is the Tatparyam of the Shastra. This creation, that is not the Tatparyam. Tatparyam is the aikyam between the individual and the total. Here, individual, we use the word jiva, and the total, we use the word Ishvara. Between the individual jiva and Ishvara, there is an aikyam. That is called Jiveshvara aikyam. In spite of Upadhi being different, Upadhi is different. I am a small individual enjoying a limited body, and this Sharira of the Ishvara, the Prapancha is the Shariram of Bhagavan. That is huge, very big. There is a difference in this Upadhi. In spite of the difference, there is an Aikyam. And that is the Tatparyam of the Shastram. That to reveal that it's the Tatparyam of the Shastram, that is going to the next topic. We will see the next class, which is called Jiveshvara Aikyam. We will see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।
धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
Very happy Diwali, Swamiji.
Happy Deepavali, Guruji.
Yes, happy Diwali to all.
Thank you.
Happy Diwali.
Thank you, Swamiji.